Hi guys, welcome to Learn Electronics Repair. I have an HP Omen here or something similar. Actually it says it is a Bang Olufsen, but I think this is just a rebadged HP Omen, at least that's what I'm guessing it is. GeForce GTX without saying much more. 7th generation i7 CPU, but you probably can't see that because of the reflection there. And the laptop was brought into me with the back cover removed. Now the problem with this laptop, a guy brought it into me a month ago or so, but the battery was kind of all rippled and bulged. The only voltage I could find was a bit of voltage around this buck regulator, which I think is the battery charging circuit, and it wouldn't start, it wouldn't charge, it wouldn't start. So I told him I wasn't going to look at it unless he replaced the battery. I said because I could spend a lot of time messing around with this only to find it's the battery. So we went and bought another battery, which is this one. I don't know if this is the original one or if it's a copy, but this is what he bought, a battery. And he says that he put the battery in and it powered up and it ran from the battery, and it ran for quite a long time, and then the battery went flat. And then he found that it will not charge the battery, so the battery now is flat and it doesn't charge. So he brought it back to me and said, can I have a look? So I guess I can't use the excuse it's the battery anymore, and now I need to see if I can fix this for him. I'll always figure out what's wrong with it. So we'll just put the battery in. I'll show you what I'm seeing on this. Without the charger attached, we have on the battery across the terminals basically nothing, okay, pretty much zero there. We can have a quick look at all the buck regulator coils and look for shorts in the laptop. I actually did this before, but it wasn't on video, so let's go again so you guys can see. So I'm going to connect to ground, and we're going to go from this one, resistance of course, volts isn't going to help very much, so 45 ohms from that one. I think that might be the RAM supply. In fact, I can prove that if I take one of the modules out, it will probably change the resistance if it's the RAM supply. Yeah, there you go, so that's the RAM supply. This one is the battery charge, I'm sure. Seeing kilo ohms there. Okay, it's actually changing, but I have kilo ohms, there's no short. This one, 40 ohms, okay. Not sure exactly what that is part of. Zoom out a little bit. It's there. But 40 ohms seems okay. We then have a whole line of them here, which I think is one or two different VRMs. 200 ohms or so. 60. 200. So they're on different supplies. Then there's 3 under this heatsink here, which I think are all on the same one. 2.3. Yeah, 2.3, 2.3, I'm sure. Fairly confident that's the CPU. And that, I think, is fine. We have more here. Now, I think this one is the GPU, which I'm fairly sure is under there. Let's have a look. So I think it's up here. 2.7, 2.6, 2.6. 3.9, so that one's different from the other ones. Okay, another one here, 12 ohms. One is probably effectively like the equivalent of PEX, I would imagine, or for the HDMI, probably a 0.9 volt or something. One will probably be also powering the PCH, which I'm guessing is under here, quite possibly the one closest to it. 4 ohms. So, although I don't know what the resistances should be, I can say pretty much there's no short circuits here. You can see them under there, okay? Let's switch it on and get some voltages. I'll just check the voltage on the charge circuit here. Nothing, because the battery is nothing. It's a bit surprised that's 0, considering this was a replacement battery that worked until it discharged. Thought it might have some residual voltage in, but it clearly doesn't have. Let's plug the charger in. This is where the 19 volt comes in. We're reading 20 volts. Okay, so we have power coming in. If we look at some of these voltage rails, there's nothing on this one. I can press the start button, but I'm sure it doesn't do anything. Let's just try it. Okay. Press or hold, it doesn't do anything. I've tried the trick, by the way, of holding this in with the battery discharge for a couple of minutes and then letting go. It doesn't help, by the way, before somebody suggests that. A good suggestion, but I have tried it, it doesn't make any difference. So, not running, not running. These ones up here, GPU, not running. Not running, obviously the fans are not running. RAM supply, I think, not running. Not running, that might be for this chip. So, all the voltage rails on this appear to be off. I don't see anything that's powered up. Okay, nothing powered up. If we go to the charge circuit, we find we have 0.75 of a volt roughly. Okay, take the charger off. It's disappearing. Put the charger on. If we go to it quite quickly, you see it went to 13 volts then for an instant, then dropped down. Do you see that? Again, I'll switch the power off. I'll see if I can click my ground lead so it's on permanently somewhere.
No, but I can understand it because it put the new battery inside. It was working perfectly. I didn't try it if it's charging or not. I gave it to the customer. Like, it's working. Everything. It was Windows. Everything was there.
It's not.
I closed it. Gave it to the customer, and he came back 2 days later. It's not working.
Yeah, it's not charging because if we go, yes. This is the charge circuit.
Yes.
Now, if you watch the volts, yes. Can you see? If I switch on,
yes.
Watch.
Nothing. Oh yes.
It went up to 1 volt, 13 volts, and then it comes down.
Yes.
So it's like the charger switches on,
yes,
and then switches back off again. You see it?
Yes.
So it's switching the charger on and back off again, but I don't know why yet. I need to.
Because the charger is working well.
Oh yeah, that's working fine. Yeah, look, we have here
19 something.
20 nearly.
Yeah, so
20.12.
Okay.
That's fine. But what's happening on the charge circuit is quite interesting. So the power supply is switched off, okay? I'm going to hold this on here, and I'm going to switch on. Watch. Do you see it there? 13 volts, then it goes off again. So the charger is switching on for a second or two, and switching back off again. Now, to me, that means the charger can work. Is it detecting an overcurrent or something? I don't know, but if there was some sort of short-ish, you wouldn't expect to get any sort of voltage there. So that's what it's doing. The question is, why? The first thing I'm going to have a look at is, I'll probably have to take the board out to do it, is there'll be the 2 MOSFETs on the input here. And there should be a current sense resistor around there somewhere that maybe we can get an idea of what amount of current this is drawing. You know, actually, I've got a better idea than that. Why don't I put my bench power supply on this and I can see what happens on the power supply? Come to think about it, let's do it the easy way. Yeah, let's see what happens to the charge currents coming in. Because whatever's going through the current sensors coming through here, yeah? We see the bench power supply there. So 19.5 volts, close enough. Let's plug it in and see what it does on the current meter. Well, it doesn't really draw any current, okay? So it's not like, oh, what did we get there? We got something. Well, now it appears to be drawing current like it's charging, but it isn't. Let's get it so we can see the voltmeter as well. Disconnect that. Okay, so nothing on there. I don't have the charger plugged in. What happens? There, it's on. Well, isn't that interesting? Now it stays on. It's a problem with the power supply. That's why there's a problem with the other power supply. You know, guys, I'm going to leave it on here and charge up. But how can there be a problem with the other power supply? Because I was measuring 20 volts there. Yeah. But now it's charging and the current's gone up to 2 amps. That, guys, is a bit hard to explain to me. Let's let it charge up and see what it does. I've left this for about 90 minutes and I think it's charged. The current's gone to 0. We can see the white LED is on by the charger. Let's see what we read on the battery now. Okay. So we read 15.86 on the battery now. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it's powering up. I don't have a picture yet, but it says it's on. But it's running from the battery because the power supply still says 0. And it's not actually booting up. Okay, we hold the button and it does go off. Let's disconnect the power supply. Try again. Yeah, it's now running from the battery. Now the owner said, or rather Handy Andy who brought it in for the owner, that he put a new battery in and it worked for quite a long time. He gave it the customer back and after a couple of days it came back and said it's flat, it's not charging. But now that doesn't seem to be the case. We just seem to have a blank screen. Fans are running. That's okay. What voltages do we have around this now? Well, 1 volt, which is reasonable. 15 volts on the battery, it's obviously got charging, it's running the machine. 0.815, that's good. 1.1. 1.06. 1.05. 1.2. Heat sinks feel a little bit warm, not hot. That's quite warm, but not stupidly hot. But I don't have a picture. Let me plug an external monitor in. And there's the capture card. So I don't have any video from what I can see. Just shut it down. Okay. Power it back on with the capture card attached. No, so I don't have any video. Plug the charger back in. Oh, it's now drawing power from the charger again, but it's gone back off again, so it's happy to use the battery at the moment. I wonder why there's no picture, because he told me it was working, although I've never seen it working myself, I will say. I left the laptop overnight. I actually unplugged the battery, or rather it fell out because it wasn't screwed in, so I didn't bother to plug it back in again. So this morning I have the bench power supply again. Let's plug it in. Let's see if the laptop starts and gives a picture. And then I'll leave it running with the power supply on for a while, and then we'll come back and see if the battery is discharged. But I will say, no, it is giving me a picture. It's saying enter reboot the system. It's saying the CMOS checksum is invalid. That makes sense because the battery wasn't connected. Okay, a little emblem there, and it's loading Windows. I'll leave that on for a few hours, and then we'll see if the battery voltage is discharged or if it goes off. And then I'll do the same with the power supply that the guy brought in, which was this one. But to be quite honest, the power supply is giving 20 volts, so I don't really see any reason why it shouldn't work. But we'll see. I've left the laptop running for a while. The power supply is plugged in. It's obviously drawing no current from the power supply. The battery is kind of like down here somewhere on the indicator, but it doesn't seem to be moving much. But I can't get into the Windows because there's a password on it, or a PIN number, and I don't know it. We can check to see whether we actually have voltage coming in from the charger. Well, we can see the light is lit up here. Okay, so the light is lit up, and now it's gone to red. Oh, and it's now drawing some power. Okay, you can see it, so it started to charge. That must be because effectively did it shut down? No, now it's gone back to 0 again. I've got a bad connection somewhere here. Is that the problem, is it? There's something stupid. Now it goes to red. And the charger comes on. Maybe it's something as simple as that. The fans have stopped. So if it's still actually, it is on. No, it's not as simple as that, because when the screen is on, it's running from the battery, not from the power supply. It's not trying to charge. This light is on white. Now this one flashes. And then this one goes to red. No, it's still on white. So it's not a bad connection there. That time it's gone blank, but the charger did come. Did you see it come in? So it's a bit hard to kind of replicate the fault. Okay, so it obviously triggers a switch. This is flashed. It's probably going to sleep now. Flashing again. Yeah, fan spun a little bit, it goes to red and then it will charge. Here we go. There. So the only thing I can say with this, it's like it won't charge, or it won't use the power supply when it's also using the battery. I'll put it back on. I'll just leave it to see what happens. I mean, I assume the battery will go flat at some point. And then maybe it'll switch to charge, but that doesn't seem to be normal, although I've not used one of these things before. Okay, let's try that. Let's leave it a while again. Open it up. You can see straight away that goes back to 0, that comes on. So it's not a bad connection, it's just some sort of switch somewhere. I don't see the switch, but there's some sort of sensor on the screen when you fold it down. Okay, so we're back to not charging. We're back down to just a bit of a bar on there. Let's see what it does. Actually, before we wait, I am interested in something else. So you saw when we started, this would not charge from the charger the guy brought in with it. It's not the original one, but it is rated 180 watt. You can see it was a 180 watt charger, so it should be more than adequate. So we'll disconnect that. That's my power supply. I'll put the charger on that he brought with it. And something's happened. Oh, and now it's charging. Can you see the plug's changed? So now it's not charging. Let's leave it on that one a while. In fact, no, let's try the same experiment we did before. So we'll fold the lid down. We have a white light on the connection by the charger. Fold it down. This is flashing, yeah, that's what it did before. Then it might flash again, and the fan twitches. Flash again. But on this charger, it goes out, whereas the other one goes to red. My bench power supply. Red. Well, I'd have to say, there's two strange things going on here. My bench power supply will not power it when it's running from battery. And his power supply will charge it, then went off charging it, and then wouldn't charge it. Yeah? Let me try another one. Okay, this is my universal 100 watt charger. Let's try this one. That's charging. The screen flashes and the charging things come on. And that's gone off again. Okay. But my power supply doesn't charge it at all. Let's try this one so we can see the white light on. Flashes. Flashes again. Touch the fan. This is charging. So this one will charge it, whereas his universal won't charge it. But it doesn't stay charging when it's running. Maybe because there's just a battery, it's still got plenty of charging. It'll switch back to charge when it wants. Let's try it with this one. Right, leave it for a while. I've left this running for a while. You see we have like a little green emblem by the battery level now. So this like little green power button thing is lit up at the moment. The power supply is switched off, so I'm just going to switch the charger on. And you can see it's gone to charging now. Well, if we wait a little bit, for a little bit longer, I think the charger does go off. Yeah, it went back out again there. So I'd have to say, I don't think there's actually anything wrong with this as such. I mean, it can charge, and if I switch it off, it charges from my charger. You see the charger came on and then just went off again. Maybe it's quite happy at the moment to run from what's left in the battery. And yet the power supply that the guy brought in, another general purpose one, will not charge it even when it's powered off. Mine does, my bench power supply does, but you can see mostly it was drawing no power. It's not connected now, by the way. You probably wondered why it was off. It's not connected. I'm actually using this, okay? So I'm actually going to have to say to the guy, in my opinion, get an original power supply or try a different compatible one. I can't see how you can say this is like a fault or a faulty component. If there's anything wrong with it, it's a firmware type thing or a hardware firmware, you know, like BIOS type thing, EC chip type thing. But I have to say it's working, so yeah. What do you think, guys? I really admit I'm not a laptop repair expert or an expert in any repair in particular, but I'm an expert in repair, if you know what I mean. So you've seen what I do on the channel. I fix all sorts of stuff, but I'm not specifically an expert in a topic like laptop repair. So there will be definitely guys watching this, and girls no doubt, who know more than me about this, okay? So I can learn some more if somebody can shed any more light on this, or maybe somebody will say, hey Rich, you diagnose it to the best as you could. Tell them to use a different power supply. I can't explain at all why it will not charge from the other power supply, even though it does give 20 volts out, it just won't charge from it. It's a bit of a mystery. But we like mysteries on this channel, guys, don't we? I hope. So, comments below, see what you think, and I'll go and look for something else that I probably can find a fault with. Okay, hope you enjoyed this anyway, and I look forward to seeing you all again on another Learn Electronics Repair video. Ciao for now, guys.